What's up, guys? Inner Beast here, and this is my sorcery PvP test on Revamp 1.8. And I should have posted this video for my Earth one because I made this one for my Earth one. And I noticed on my Earth video, a lot of people were, some people in the comments were like, "Can you test the pet or whatever?" And there was a reason I didn't use the pet in the Earth video because I found out in the sorcery video that pets are extremely squishy in PvP. Like they die in like two combos. Like you'll see in this clip right here. Um, I was seeing if pets still gave off blues, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, they're no pets are extremely squishy. Look at that. See, like, like that pet is done, and like look at the damage it's doing. Like it's doing like single numbers. Um, it's not even doing substantial amount of damage in the 2 seconds that it is alive at all. And right here I tested Guardian, and Guardian died just as fast and it wasn't doing much more damage. And the pets still give blues. I mean that's one thing like they need to take out. Like I really think that they need to take out the pet's ability to give blues. Like that's kind of stupid. And especially stacked with 100% shield, whatever. But okay, overall, like sorcery damage wise, sorcery definitely it has good burn. It has decent burn. One thing I noticed is that sorcery is definitely not is definitely not OP, of course, but um I definitely felt like I was at a disadvantage while I was fighting. Most of the time because he had better burn than I did. With fire at least. And I started feeling like I was with Celestial. And I realized that with sorcery, sorcery is like out of all the power, sorcery is probably the most weapon based. Like you need equal weapon and powers. Like certain powers hit good, like well, all the powers hit decently, but you really need to stack it with your weapon. And the more weapon combos you get off, clip with your moves, and the more counters you catch, then the better off you'll be. So like that's the reason, and that's exactly how Celestial is. Like the more counters you catch, and the better you are with your weapon, the better you'll do fundamentally. And yeah, sorcery. So like yeah, the powers hit decently. It has good burn. One thing I noticed is that a lot of the sorcery powers are like very short cooldown and very clippable. Like sorcery is a really clippable power, and that's what makes it an even more weapon based power. Cause like most of the powers are just like so quick and like no animation time. It's just a quick burst, and a lot of the moves are spammable. Like I think there's one clip I have in here where I was just like spamming one move. I think it was like Soul Bolt or something. Like sorcery is really spammable, but it's not you know like just doing the power damage by itself is like not substantial at all. Like you need your weapon for sorcery, and I wouldn't say that it's at a huge disadvantage because it needs that, because it needs weapon um, more than other powers. But it all boils down to the skill of the player. Like the more skilled of a PvPer you are, the better you're gonna do with sorcery. And yeah, I don't really have too much bad to say about it. I just want the pets to be stronger, so you can have that option to use a pet, so like they don't die in two combos, and then take away the immunity or take away the ability for the pets to give blues because people are just gonna sit there and lunge the pets, and lunge dodging is still here. So while they're lunging at the pet, you can be hitting them with a might move, and they'll dodge that might move and catch a blue off your pet. Then on top of that, they'll have a shield off cooldown. So when that blue wears off, they'll pop a shield, and then you're not gonna be able to do any damage to them for a substantial amount of time. And they're just gonna beat your ass. So I will say that sorcery is at a disadvantage because of the whole 100% shield thingy. Because like all healing powers are, they only have one shield and no breakouts. And tank control powers have you know 1 to 2 shields and a breakout. But Yeah, generally sorcery is just it's okay. It's pretty good. The sorcery scales off of how good of a player you are. Like it's not just gonna straight carry you, but if you're really good with your weapon and you're really good fundamentally, you can wreck with it. You know. Um, yeah, this is the clip where I was just spamming like that soul boat. I mean, actually, that's vengeance. You can just sit there and spam that. That's one of just about all the moves you can spam. But I kind of like that because sorcery can crit high, but like it's the damage isn't just straight health taking. So I think that with the disadvantage it has against other like certain other powers, it does well with this ability to spam the moves and you know put out constant damage from your power attacks without waiting or without worrying about cooldowns and stuff like that. Um, yeah, like as you can see, I was like switching out different moves, just testing different moves. So far, my favorite move is Soul Barrage. I think that's what it's called, Soul Barrage. Yeah, it's like the move with all the it shoots like the 5 balls and it's like 5, 6, 6. That's actually one of the best moves for PVE wise too. But I noticed that move was like doing good amount of damage, like when you clip it with your weapon and stack it with your weapon damage. But yeah, my general conclusion is sorcery is all right. It it scales with how good of a player is using it. There are a few things that could be tweaked, general PvP that could fix it, but um, yeah. So that's basically it. So like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching the video.